I wasn't supposed to be working nights. I only agreed because the regular guy quit without notice. The storage facility sits off the highway about 20 minutes outside town. No houses nearby, just long stretches of road and trees. My shift was simple, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Watch the cameras, do a perimeter check every hour, lock up at sunrise. The first week was uneventful. A couple late renters grabbing things from their units. One drunk guy who forgot his gate code. Normal stuff. Then I noticed the gap. Every night at exactly 3 a.m., the camera feed freezes. Not glitches, freezes. No static, no distortion. Just a clean, paused image. At 3:12 a.m., it resumes. 12 minutes missing. I checked the playback. Same thing. Every night. 3 to 3:12. Nothing recorded. I called the owner. He said it was probably a firmware bug. Told me not to worry about it. But on my 8th night, something changed. At 2:59 a.m., I decided to stand outside and watch the lot in person. If the cameras froze, I'd still see whatever was happening. At exactly 3 a.m., the security monitor inside the office flickered. I heard it through the window. Then silence. The entire facility felt different. No wind, no distant highway noise, nothing. Like the air had been vacuum sealed. I started walking the rows of storage units. Row A, normal. Row B, normal. Then I reached Row C. Unit 118 was open. That was impossible. I personally checked every lock at 2 a.m. I approached slowly. The door wasn't fully raised, just enough to duck under. Inside was a small mattress, a folding table, and a lamp plugged into a portable battery. The lamp was on. Someone had been living there. I stepped back. My radio crackled. We don't use radios at the facility. There's only one, mine, but it was off. The crackling continued. Then a voice, faint, distorted. 312. I pulled the radio from my belt. The power switch was still off. Not enough time. The voice sounded strained, like someone whispering through clenched teeth. I dropped the radio. The lamp inside Unit 118 flickered, then shut off. Darkness swallowed the inside. I backed away slowly. That's when I heard footsteps. Behind me, measured, calm. Not running, just walking. I turned around. Empty row, but the footsteps didn't stop. They continued. From directly behind me, matching my pace. Step, step, step. But when I stopped, they took one more step, closer than mine had. I started walking faster. So did the footsteps, still perfectly synchronized, still just slightly behind. I reached the office door. It was locked. I always keep it unlocked during rounds. I fumbled with my keys. The footsteps stopped right behind me, close enough that I could hear breathing, slow, steady. I didn't turn around. I didn't want to see what was there. I unlocked the door and rushed inside. The monitor screens were back on. Timestamp read 3:12 a.m., like nothing happened. I checked camera 4. Row C Unit 118 was closed, padlocked. No sign it had ever been opened. I rewound the footage. 3:00 a.m., freeze. 3:12 a.m., resume. But there was something different. Between the frozen frame and the resumed one, the position of my body had changed. At 3:00, I was mid-step facing Row C. At 3:12, I was standing directly in front of Unit 118, head tilted, staring at the door. I don't remember moving there, and I wasn't holding my radio in the resumed frame. I checked the desk. My radio was sitting neatly beside the monitor. I hadn't brought it back in. I know I hadn't. The next morning, I asked the owner about Unit 118. He went quiet, then said that unit hasn't been rented in 5 years. The previous tenant died. Natural causes. Found inside. No family claimed the belongings. Eventually, everything was removed. Unit cleared. Empty. I asked him if anyone could be living there. He said the lock has never been cut, never replaced. Same one since clearance. That night, I didn't step outside at 3:00 a.m. I stayed in the office. At 2:59, I stared at the monitors. At 3, they froze. But this time, the image didn't show an empty lot. It showed me, standing outside the office door, facing the camera, not moving, not blinking, just staring directly into the lens. My heart felt like it stopped, because I was still sitting inside, watching it. At 3:12, the feed resumed normally, the lot empty. The office door closed. I checked the front window. No one outside. I checked the playback again. From 3:12 backward, the frozen frame clearly showed me outside, but I was wearing something different. Not my uniform jacket. A gray hoodie, the same kind people wear when they don't want to be seen clearly on camera. I quit the next morning. 2 weeks later, I drove past out of curiosity. New night guard, different car in the lot. As I passed, I glanced at the facility. And there, standing in front of Unit 118, was someone in a gray hoodie, head tilted.